Hey there, this is Dr. Peter Kloponis with Integrity Counseling Services in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania, coming to you again with another video. And today I'd like to tell you a little bit about the work that we do here at our counseling practice. People often ask me as a therapist, what do I do? What do I do all day long? And often my response is that I tell people that I'm a detective. I'm a detective. That's the work that I'm doing. Because you see, often the issues that people come into our office with really are not the issue. Right? What they're coming in with are symptoms. So, for example, let's say somebody comes into my office saying that they're struggling with the depression. Obviously, we go through a whole evaluation to see what it is. Is it depression? How serious it, and so forth. Um, but then I let them know that, okay, what you're dealing with is depression. That is the symptom. All right. And that's all it is. It is the symptom. The real question is, what is causing that depression? What is fueling it? What is driving it? What is perpetuating this depression? And here's where I have to put on my detective hat to figure out what is going on. What are the roots of this depression? What are the root causes of it? And we have to find that out. And it's never just one thing. It's always a whole collection of different roots that are contributing to the addiction. So finding out what the root causes are, oftentimes it's like putting together a big puzzle with many, many pieces to figure out what it is that is causing this. And it's not just how those individual pieces are contributing to the depression, but how they're interacting with one another to perpetuate it. So, for example, a person may be coming in with a severe depression, and we look at the history and let's say, okay, well, they just lost their job of many years. So they're dealing with a great loss from that. But when we dig a little further, we come to realize that in many relationships throughout their lives, they've experienced a lot of rejection in there. Okay, so you combine that history of rejection with the loss of a job, and of course anybody who loses their job also feels rejected. You put those two together, and there's a synergy there. It creates something bigger, and that's going to have an impact on their self-esteem, their sense of self-worth, their hope for the future, and all that together can create and perpetuate depression. And there could be many other things that are a part of this puzzle that are all interacting with each other. And so this is what we do when we work with clients. It's identifying the roots of these issues, whether it's depression, anxiety, addiction, you name it. And then we work on resolving these roots. Working on dealing with the loss of the job, working on coping with rejection throughout life, and helping them to understand that, okay, even with these issues in their life, that they're still lovable, there are still many people who value them, that they have many wonderful skills, that they can find another job, and they can find people that love them and value them, and really work on building them up that way, giving them that confidence to be able to go back into the world and engage with people, even though they've dealt with some losses and rejection. All right, and working on all this together can help bring them up out of that pit of depression. So there's a lot of work that we do here as being detectives in identifying the roots. But once we identify what the root causes are, then often developing the strategies, developing those interventions that are going to help them to overcome the depression is not difficult. Right? It's not difficult at all. So, but oftentimes it takes the help of a therapist to be able to do this, to be able to help them to find this, And of course, there are many other things that they can be doing to help them with these issues, making sure there's a good support system, just basic self-care, making sure they're eating right, they're getting plenty of rest, they're getting plenty of exercise, they're spending time with friends and family that support them. All this is very important. But it's also important to get to the roots of whatever you're dealing with, whether it's depression, anxiety, a phobia, an addiction, a relationship issue. There could be many different things here that we're looking at. So, but this is what therapy does. This is what we therapists do. We're trained to be the detectives, to figure out what are the roots of the issues you're dealing with and finding ways to solve them, to resolve them so that you will end up feeling much better. So, for more information on the great work we're doing here in Integrity Counseling Services, you can go to our website above. And until the next time, God bless.